Let me know when you are live.
Yes, we are ready.
So अभी के लिए तो ये will be right back to stand होना चाहिए ना. There's a link to the thing ना.
View on watch page. That's the wrong link.
Okay.
Oh, that's the right link, yeah. You can go on to analytics and see how many users are watching.
अरे ये live view है. ये public view है. I thought you put the placeholder no.
What does it start?
Lager.
Rohit?
Are you ready?
You are looking very serious. Shut it down, mute. Rohit,
Yeah.
I think viewers are waiting for us. We should
Hi
start.
everybody.
What's up, guys? Hello.
Hi guys. 7 days to go for JEE. How are you feeling?
I think this is going to be very strenuous or maybe
Stressful?
stressful,
Tension?
maybe nervousness.
What's happening to you guys? Okay, so welcome to the first webinar of Toppr, the first in our series, 1 week to go for JEE. If you have any doubts, any questions, then you can type it out. We are listening to you.
You can look at the chat button just below the video. You can subscribe to the Toppr channel also, and one of the guys from here will be answering your questions.
Yeah.
We are going to choose 2-3 really good questions which relate to a lot of us, and are going to answer live today on this webinar, right? What I want to tell you is we are very, very excited about this webinar series. We are going to do this a lot more frequently now. This is our first in the webinar series, so we are going to boom it.
Yeah.
Right?
So let me introduce ourselves. I am Rohitashwa. I gave my JEE in 2003, got a rank of 922, and I passed out of IIT Bombay in 2007.
Right. I am Rohan. I graduated from IIT Bombay in year 2014, gave my JEE in 2009. My All India AR was 956. Right.
Cool.
I think just quickly diving into the JEE history, one of the biggest explosions in the JEE phenomena has been the number of students giving it every year. I think when JEE, when Rohit gave the JEE in 2003,
I think there were 2 lakh people who gave JEE.
2 lakh people. Just imagine the number right now. It's 15 lakh people last year, and it's going to be 16 or 17 lakhs this year. Just imagine what
Man, the
kind of
competition has increased, and this is making our
I
players
totally
really,
understand
really
all the
nervous.
tension and pressure through which you are going right now, because there are just so many people in this, right? And we want to really understand and want to answer a very deep question of these last 7 days, because these are very, very important. If you're going to get your strategy right in these 7 days, you're going to get leaps and bounds ahead of the competition, ahead of those 15 lakh people, and more closer to your seat in your dream IIT or NIT. Or
So, Rohan, what did you do to get sure that you get to IIT Bombay in the last 7 days? What were you doing in the last 7 days?
Right. So I think 2009 was an year where JEE was given by just 6 lakh people. Not much strategy and awareness was being discussed at the point of time. But I clearly remember those last 7 days of before the JEE.
What happened?
I think one of the first things happened which I didn't get the center of my choice.
Oh, that happens
Guys,
to a lot of people.
You must be relating to this point. You don't get your center of choice, you don't get your first preference, and this happens with a lot of us. I studied in my hometown Nagpur, got my center in Pune, right? So I had to come down to Pune 1 week back, go on to get acclimatized to that place, go to the center 2 days back, see all of those route optimizations you do, all of that. But
guys, need not worry, it happens with a lot of people. It happened with me. I was studying in Ajmer. I got my center as Jaipur. It's a very common thing. It happens to everybody, nothing to fear about. All you have to do is make sure that you land up in your center's town a couple of days before and get acclimatized to what is the route going to be and how much is the time taken from your stay place to get to the main center.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Nothing to worry about it. Don't freak out saying ki kya hoga, nothing like that. Okay, just chill. Okay, first thing. But
don't make a big deal out of it. It's just a final exam. It's a very largely taken exam. But
how many books did you carry to Nagpur, to Pune?
Frankly speaking, I think I carried one full bag, one full suitcase of just books. It was a lot of books, and it becomes too confusing at the end. Don't you feel, Rohit?
So, see, my strategy was completely different for the last 7 to 15 days.
Right.
Okay. What I did was, I knew that my exam was going to take place from 10 to 1. For you guys, I think it is from 9 to 12. Okay. So, what I did was, in the last 7 to 15 days, I solved one paper daily. And exactly on the time of my exam, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. So how did it help? It helped me make sure that my mind was alert during those hours. It was not drowsy. Okay. And that helped me prepare for the real test.
Rohit, why is it so? I'm not able to understand this. Why is it so important to just do papers in 9 to 12? Why?
Okay. So let me take a couple of examples.
I study at the night, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really comfortable doing papers.
So see, if you're not comfortable waking up in morning hours and studying, how would you do it on the day of the exam itself? Right? It's better that you start preparing your body 7 days, 15 days before the exam, getting up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever suits you, getting ready by 8 a.m., 9 to 10 a.m. you can relax or you can go for a walk, and 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. you should just give that exam. Okay? It will help your body acclimatize to the exam environment, to the testing environment, and you will be able to focus much better on the questions that are going to be
that makes
focused.
total sense, right? I think your body is like a machine. You need to tune it, right?
Yeah.
And if you tune it for hard roads, it's going to go fast. If you tune it for dirt roads, it's going to optimize for dirt
I think
roads.
it's better that you feel drowsy on day -7 from 10 to 1 rather than on day 0 of the exam at 10 to 1, right?
So I think, guys, key takeaway from this, start solving regular papers in the time period of the JEE main, right, which is 9 to 12.
And that will help you in not carrying hundreds of books from one place to another place.
Yes.
How? Can you tell me? Can you guess? Okay. So what I did was, in the last 7 days, I was just practicing one paper daily.
Right.
Okay. Maybe 2. If my time permitted, I used to give another test from 2 to 5 or 3 to 6, but that was just an additional test. When I'm giving a test, either it's a part test or a full test, okay, it does not matter. But at the end of the test, when I'm analyzing my paper, I know where I made mistakes. Okay, which sign convention I took wrong, okay, or which formula I remembered wrong. Sin square theta sin 2 theta is very confusing at times, right? And especially those tan 15 angles and tan 30 angles,
tan 3x,
right? So what happened was, whenever I used to encounter such problem in a test, I used to note it down in a notepad. At the end of those 10 tests, 15 tests, I had just one small booklet of 5 to 10 pages which I used to carry. And I used to keep on revising those notes time and again. So by the time I came closer to my exam, it became very simple.
Okay, that makes total sense. I think revising from a very condensed book or notebook which you have made will actually make it more effective, I think, in the last 7 days.
So guys, if you have any questions further related to this topic, just keep on typing in the chat box below. and we will make sure that we answer them at the end of the webinar, or we will send you an email if the number of questions goes too large. Right?
Rohit, I want to go on to the next question. I think this is a very important question. This actually decides your 2 years of preparation coming down into those last 3 hours of the exam. And what would you tell our viewers about how should you spend those last 3 hours in the exam? This is not before the exam, in the exam.
It solely depends on the strategy that you have been practicing. Okay. So I'll take an example of the strategy that I used to follow. Okay, maths was my favorite subject.
Right.
Okay, so I used to start off the paper with maths. Okay, spend an hour on it. Okay. Go to physics, spend another hour on it, and then chemistry was my weakest subject, so I used to take it up the last. Okay. That strategy worked really well for me. It helped me clear all my subjects, and it helped me to score very well in maths and physics, which gave me the cutting edge rank that I got. Okay. But so, for example, there was one professor of mine who said, Rohit, since you are starting fresh at 10 o'clock, you should practice chemistry. Okay,
right.
You should first try to do chemistry so that you are able to score maximum marks in that subject also. And physics and maths, obviously, you will be able to do because you have a very good stronghold on those subjects. I tried that for a couple of papers. Okay, but it did not work out for me. Both of the tests bombed. I did not get good marks in those tests. So I just chucked that strategy and I followed my own strategy. Okay, guys, one quick pointer, you might need to refresh the page to be able to see the chat window. Just quickly do it now and keep on asking your questions. Meanwhile, Rohan will tell you the strategy that one of his good friends told him.
Okay. So I think this was one of the strategies which came out after talking to one of my juniors who actually was AR1 in JEE mains. What he mentioned was a very unique perspective, and I really like that how he puts it, right? He says, and what he thinks is JEE is a smart exam, right? It's not an exam which can be conquered by practicing 1 lakh questions, 10,000 questions or 50,000 questions, right? JEE is a smart exam. The type of questions which are asked in JEE are purposely handpicked by a lot of professors who have been studying, who have been practicing those subjects over the last 20 years. So they know ins and outs of each and every question. Each question which is put there with a thought, right? So the student who is giving JEE is expected to choose those questions also wisely while solving the paper, right? There can be very tough questions which come at the start of the paper, and if you do not know that, you will be stuck. You will be demotivated in the first hour, and you won't be able to go ahead. You would be stranded there. Right?
But again, that was a strategy that worked for him. Okay, you might not be good at identifying easy or medium or hard level questions that accurately because you don't know which is an easy question.
Right.
Okay, so again, choose the best strategy that works for you. 7 days are still there. Take out 7 papers, 10 papers, 15 papers. There are lots of papers available. Just make sure that you're doing 3 hours test every day at least once. Okay,
right.
Preferably between your exam timing.
So I'm talking about exam strategy. That exam strategy needs to be very, very personal to you. It needs to be time tested with you on practice test, on a time test, and it should reflect you because it's going to help you in the final day, right?
So Yogesh here is asking a question, sir, what to do a day before JEE? So as I told you,
very good question. I think
as I told you, you are keeping down notes of each and every test that you are taking. Those important formula that have been decided by you as important that you get confused in. Those you should be noting down in a paper. Those reactions that are there in organic. If you get confused with the names, then the names of those reactions. You should have your 5 to 10, 15 pages that you can that you can
I think
revise on the last day.
I love that question. Yogesh, you have asked a very, very important question. What my perspective on this question is, what to do before JEE. I think differentiating that day into 2 parts. First half, you should just be revising what you feel you're really good at. Start your day with a lot of motivation. Just read through all of the concepts very, very quickly. It will be very, very superficial on the flow, and just end that revision by lunch or 1 hour after that, and just spend your day relaxing.
Yeah.
I think the second half needs to be very, very slow. You need to focus on your health, dinner, sleep, and all of that.
Yes. Don't think that you can put a night out and go for a JEE. So there are some people who might do that, but still it is very, very advisable that you are focused on that particular exam and you are in a sound state of mind as well as body to be able to take that exam.
Right. I think there are a lot more questions now. Rohit Roy asked that, sir, what should be my strategy for preparing for rest of my exams like BITS and other exams? Right, Rohit.
Okay,
please.
So Rohit Roy is being answered by Rohitashwa Choudhary. Yeah. Okay. So guys, let's first focus one exam at a time. Okay. JEE mains is coming. You should first focus on JEE mains. Okay. Solving previous year's papers in these cases helps a lot. So if you're planning to give a BITSAT or if you're planning to give, let's say, WBJE or some other exam, you should make sure that you're practicing past 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years papers very easily and you're able to solve those questions. Okay. So don't leave out on that. Keep on practicing those questions. That is the best pattern making that you can make out for those exams. Okay. If you have some model test papers for BITSAT or for WBJE or for any other exams, you should try out that also.
Guys, another reminder, we have been getting a lot of questions. Guys, I want you to ask questions today because this webinar is for you, right? We are like very, very excited about answering all these questions. You can see the chat box below, right?
And if we are not able to answer it right now, we'll make sure that we'll send out an email to you. So do leave your email ID, which we can email. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think for all viewers who have actually started the webinar late, joined the webinar late, just recapping all of what we have discussed.
Yeah.
I think first point which we discussed is JEE mains is going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. right?
Yeah.
So you should actually practice tests in that time period. Keep your mind sharp in that time period and get going into being more sharper and more sharp in that time period.
Second point, whenever you encounter a doubt or a question in your mock test paper that you're solving before the exam, make sure that you have a small notepad in which you note down those formulas, those doubts, and you can revise them later so that you don't have to carry a big book set and keep on searching in those books where did my doubt go.
Right.
Okay.
I think third quick point about exam strategy. The exam strategy needs to be very, very personal. You need to have a strategy for the final exam because that will make you more efficient, more confident while attempting the question paper, right? There are a lot of fears which can come during the exam, so I think the exam strategy will kill all of it, right?
Okay. Exam strategy, one more point. Do you think you should take a loo break during the exam, washroom break if you want to? Yeah.
Washroom break. I just didn't think about it.
So there was a friend of mine who said that he won't go to the washroom because it would waste his 5 minutes, which it typically does, right? My point on that is you should just keep on focusing on the next question, okay? And if something is getting in the way of it, just get it out, okay? Yeah. It may take 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but if you don't take care of it, then things are going to get a bit more nasty as the time progresses. If you're thirsty, carry a small water bottle with you. Most of the examiners would allow that. Carry a small packet of biscuits which you can eat. I'm very sure that many examiners would allow that. Examiners, I think, are mostly friends of students.
I think just a quick perspective on examiners. Sometimes examiners look like monsters in the examination halls, right? And there's a reason for it, right? They need this JEE main is, just imagine the kind of rigor which goes on to just running the JEE main. It happens once in a year, 15 lakh people give it, right? There are a lot of places where this execution can go wrong. And all of this will come down to the examiners, right? How they implemented it, how they followed the rules, right? They need to be very, very strict on this. But I think beyond all of that, besides all of that, they are there to help you. They are there to answer your needs, answer your queries about the paper. You shouldn't बेझिझक जो भी क्वेश्चन हो उन्हें पूछ लेना.
Yeah. So how can I get over the tension during exam? Samyak Jain. What kind of tension did you face in your exam?
Sir, टेंशन तो इतना ज़्यादा होता है अगर क्वेश्चन बन ही नहीं रहा है फर्स्ट घंटे में तो टेंशन तो आएगा ही.
I'll tell you what my personal experience was. Would you believe it if I said that I could not solve any question in physics for the first 45 minutes out of a 2-hour paper.
I wouldn't believe it.
That happened with me.
Did this really happen?
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
So back in 2003 till 2002, there was a booklet given to us in which you can borrow extra sheets and fill out papers if you wanted more. But in 2003, there was a special booklet given to us with a specific instruction that there would be no more extra sheets. By just the fear of it, I could not write anything in the designated one page because I was afraid that I would ruin that page and I would not be able to solve that question. Okay. So for the first 45 minutes, I did not write anything. But then the only strategy that worked for me was remaining cool. I said I'm going to remain cool. I'm going to solve just one question first. Okay.
Yeah.
I picked out the most probable question that I thought I was going to get right, and I solved that question first. As soon as I solved that question, my confidence built. I attempted the second question, and so on. So you should always take your exam one question at a time. Don't think about it as an exam, as your 3-year preparation. Don't think about all that. You should just focus on the next question on the subject that you like.
That's very, very important. I think a lot of this tension just builds about because you have such huge expectations on your head, right? Don't you agree with it?
Yeah.
Because just remove the expectation out of the equation, right? If you don't have any expectation, you will enter the examination hall with so much cool that you will kill the paper. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Another very interesting question. Sir, my main problem is that I always make careless mistakes. How can I solve
question, go ahead. Otherwise, you need to answer this.
So, guys, of course, the obvious answer is to avoid careless mistakes, you need to be careful. But sometimes it does not happen, right? So, there are a couple of strategies that people have devised to make sure that careless mistakes are minimum. In some questions, what my friends used to do was, again, I was not aware about this strategy. I came to know of it when I walked into IIT Bombay and I talked to my friends and I figured out how to solve their paper. What they did was, they did not substitute values of equation of variables until it was absolutely essential. Okay.
Yeah.
So if velocity was needed, they will try to do it in terms of force, mass, acceleration, time, up till the last point possible. Okay, that would help you in dimensional checking as well as making sure that there is no zero missed out or a decimal here or there because of all this. Okay, that is one strategy.
Yeah, I think just look at the answer. Just look at the answer by just removing all of that problem aside, right? If you are solving a question on gravitation, right? If you are trying to calculate gravitational energy, it's not going to be like a very huge number. It's going to be very, very less because gravitational energies are less, right? If you're going to, if the question is asking light years, it needs to be in the orders of 10 raised to 9, 10 raised to 10, right? It cannot be 10 raised to minus 9.
True,
right?
absolutely.
All of this sanity check will make you sure that are you going correctly or are you not going correctly in the paper.
Right. Another important point, whenever you are doing rough work, do not do it as rough work. Okay? Make sure that you have a designated piece of paper in which you are writing the steps sequentially. Don't mix up the steps of this question with the steps of the previous question. Otherwise, some number is going to overlap, there are going to be mistakes, and those mistakes will carry them forward to the next answer.
Right. I think one more question. This is asked by Yogesh Patel. Should we go back to perfect the most important chapters? And I think a lot of people are asking the most important questions, right? Frankly speaking, if you look at the official document which is given by JEE, there is no mention of any most important chapters. There is no mention of any weightage which would be given. But if you look at the last 5-year previous papers which have been given by JEE, right? If you look at maths, a lot of those questions have a base of calculus in it, right? You need to know calculus to solve questions in physics. You need to know calculus to solve questions in chemistry.
Yeah.
You need to solve calculus to questions in maths, right? You need to understand what would you say in physics.
So I would probably say that focus on the chapters that you have practiced well, that you understand well. Do not pick up any new chapter in the last 7 days. It becomes difficult to master a chapter in 7. So think about it. 30 chapters you have took 2 years to master, right? 2 or 3 years in some cases, or 1 year in some cases.
Right.
It is virtually impossible to master another chapter in 1 week. Okay, so I would say that if you're confident about a particular chapter, right now is not the time to do a fresh start and learn the most about it. Okay, right now is the time to make sure that you revise your concepts and make sure that those concepts are very good.
I think, Rohit, what we can do is we should actually be speaking to a content team and maybe try to get an answer to this.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll send out an email answering all of these questions which you guys have been asking lots of love, right? What we'll do is, should we take another question?
I would suggest that maybe what we can do is we can do a compiled list of all these questions and we'll have some ideas to answer them for you, and we'll send a digest to you that you can follow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now we have run out of time. Sorry guys, 25 minutes already into the webinar. Yeah.
I think
so we'll just recap it once.
Yeah. Let's just have a quick recap for all the viewers.
So first, practice as much as you can, especially during the exam hours that are going to be there in your test. Okay. Second, make notes of all the mistakes that you are making or all the confusions that you have, and revise only those points towards the end 1 or 2 days. Okay. Third, during the exam, don't be afraid, tackle it question by question, one question at a time. Do not think about anything else. Okay. Fourth, follow the strategy that works the best for you. Okay. And fifth, I don't think we covered that in this session, but if you're taking a CBT, make sure computer-based test.
Yeah, very important. Yeah.
Make sure that you have practiced a few tests on a computer into some simulated environment. Okay, Toppr definitely offers that, but if you want to, there would be other people who are offering that. So just make sure that you have taken at least 1 or 2 tests on computers and tried out all those 90 questions at least once.
Right.
Okay.
I think thanks for all of you joining for this webinar. This is the first episode of this webinar, right? We want to do a lot more than what we are doing right now. If you want us to do more like this, stay tuned for more. So subscribe and like. There's a like button and a subscribe button just below this video, someplace here. And all the best.
All the best, guys. May each one of you succeed. Keep on sending us emails. Lots of love, best of luck, and don't be nervous. It's finally a 3-hour exam, right?
Yeah. Best of luck.
Best of luck, guys.
I think the first ones are going to go on 3rd of April. So more best of luck for them, and then even more for people who are going to go CBT on 9th and 10th of April. Stay tuned. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, guys. Love you.